Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fall 2019 candle haul. So yes, I have 6 fall candles to talk about with you guys today. I totally went back to my roots and just went into Bath & Body Works. I mean, I go in there all the time, like not buying candles, just kind of sniffing around. But something just feels so good about getting that big old heavy bag of candles. And yes, fall is in the air so early at Bath & Body Works this year. I am totally living for how they're releasing the fall candles this year. It's like, I feel like, I don't know if I'm just being dramatic or something, but last year and like all of the years past, it seems so like dramatic, like test store exclusive. So this year it's a breath of fresh air, how you can just walk into the store or go online and get most of the scents readily available to you. And yes, so with that being said, I don't know if I said it already, but I have 6 candles with me today to talk about with you guys. I've only burnt one of them, so don't have much help with like burn reports, but yes, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to start off with the one that I am most excited about, and that is the Pumpkin Peanut Brittle. This one originally came out last year, I'm pretty sure, yes. Along with the blueberry maple pancakes. Those are like the two like main like, oh my gosh, I need to have it since. So yes, I was really obsessed with the blueberry maple pancakes last year, so I didn't pay this candle much attention, but it also sold out really fast, so I didn't have much of a chance to do so. But yes, here it is, again, returned this year in the pumpkin collection. Here are the lids for, that collection. They're kind of similar to last year's, but they say Bath & Body Works there at the top. And here are the notes. They've redesigned the, like, bottom labels. This one still has the old one. So here is the old one, and here is the new design. They've just kind of, it says the same things, they just switched around the order. They do that every few years for some reason. Like, if you remember, it used to have, like, a band around it. Like, it would write that in the notes or, like, in the middle. Anyway. They're always switching it up on us, but yes, the notes are crunchy caramel brittle, salty peanuts, and toasted pumpkin seeds. So, this candle is so immensely strong. This is like up there with a summer boardwalk to me as far as like kind of like blowing your nose away, kind of like intense fragrance. I was sniffing this one on my way home when I originally got these, and like just taking off the lid like filled my car with this scent. So what does it smell like? To me, it's just so different because it's so salty. Like every time fall comes around, you get like inundated with all of the like swirly caramel pumpkin, and it's like all so sweet, and you just kind of like go crazy. It's like kind of in the same way that you don't necessarily want to eat like sweet stuff like all the time. You don't want to sniff sweet candles all the time. So this one is totally a breath of fresh air. It's like you had a salty Ritz cracker and you just slap some peanut butter on there. It is so intense. And there is definitely that nutty aspect to it as well. It's kind of like, think about like crunchy peanut butter as opposed to like the smooth peanut butter. So you do get that kind of nutty aspect to it. And yes, I just can't get over how different this candle is. It's such a nice departure from all of the crazy, swirly, sweet scents that we always get. So yeah, I cannot wait to burn this one. It looks like it has really good wicks. These ones, I mean, they kind of curl in sometimes, but normally they burn really well. So that is a Pumpkin Peanut Brittle right there. I cannot wait to burn that one. And the next one that I'm going to talk about is Coconut Macaroon right here. Not to be confused with Macaron. This one is Macaroon with 2 O's. This is in the oh so popular, it's like, I forget what it's called, the Wild Critters, the something animal. The animal collection that just sells like hotcakes. Yes, and similarly designed lid where it says Bath & Body Works kind of on the edge right there, but we've got some acorns and leaves going on there. It's so hard to see. And here are the notes for this one. They are toasted coconut, fresh baked cookie, vanilla bean, and touch of spice. So, this candle, I love it so much. When I first opened it, it reminds me of the coconut pumpkin latte soap that comes back. It's back again this year. So it reminds me of that, but it reminds me of so many things. Now, okay, so the coconut is not the, like, summery coconut that Bath & Body Works uses. It is, like, the dry, nutty, almost like a coconut flake kind of scent that you might get from, like, the store. It's that, and it smells really similar to the Coco Shea Body Care, if you've ever smelled that. It's very dry and kind of natural and not, like, insanely like the fake synthetic, like, crazy coconut. It's much more of a toned down version, and it's also the same coconut that you kind of get in the copper coconut candle from spring. I think it was in a yellow jar this year. So it is definitely that kind of coconut, and there is just such a unique, like, slight bakery, but not, like, over the top. It's kind of like I said, pumpkin peanut brittle. This candle is definitely not salty, but it's not, like, over the top sweet, necessarily. So, I forgot to bring it. I have last year's pumpkin coconut, which was a test store and online exclusive. But it's definitely not that candle at all. I thought it might be similar at first, but comparing the two side by side, it is so clear that pumpkin coconut is it's that, like, typical really sweet scent that I talked about. Like, it's just over the top sweetness, which I didn't realize until I compared it with this. And this one, I posted a review of this on my Instagram, and I said that it kind of reminds you of, like, tapioca or, like, rice pudding. Like that, there was a candle that smelled like tapioca, and it was in that, like, test lab collection, and the destination was Thai coconut basmati. That's what this reminds me of, because it's that, like, milky, almost like frothy scent. And I also said in my Instagram review that it reminds me of a Starbucks drink, which it totally does, because of all the Starbucks drinks that include almond and coconut milk. Which leads me to our next point, that this kind of reminds me of the almond candle. Like, we've got, I think it first came out in 2017, maybe, the almond in that, like, essentials or elements or whatever collection. Just that really creamy, not over the top, super sweet, milky scent mixed with coconut. And honestly, I don't get a lot of a necessary, like, cookie note or, like, a baked treat. It just kind of comes across as, like, a soft, milky coconut. And yes, I totally love this one, and the packaging is so cute with the, like, off-white and little blue accents. I am in love with this one. I feel like I haven't watched any, like, necessary, like, full-blown reviews, but, like, I've read some stuff on Instagram, and I don't really think it's that popular. Like, a lot of people are kind of saying bad stuff about it, so I don't really understand why. Maybe some people just don't like coconut in fall, but there is my little review on that. And the next one that I got is another new scent this year in that same animal, whatever, critter collection. It is Cinnamon Irish Cream with the same lid there. And here are the notes for this one. They are cinnamon spice liqueur, Irish cream, and French vanilla. So, this scent is super intense. It's kind of like pumpkin peanut butter. Like, you take the lid off, and it, like, fills the bubble around you. Now this one is super unique. At first, if you watch my shop with me video, I said that it kind of just smells like caramel pumpkin swirl, which that was just my basic nose being, like, caught off guard by this scent. So scratch that. But I will say it does have that, like, very typical Bath & Body Works super sweet caramel, pumpkin, whatever you want to call it, basis. Oh, but it's so different. This is like what I expected white caramel cold brew to smell like, because it has that caramel basis that they put in a million candles, but I genuinely feel like this has coffee in it or some sort of, like, espresso, and it is not the same. What it really reminds me of is the old espresso bar candle, or it was like, came out as like a few iterations of Italy as a destination scent. It's different from the Paris Cafe in the sense that it's almost chocolatey. Paris Cafe is really like a salty, dry coffee scent. But yeah, I feel like it really has some sort of espresso bar heritage in it. And yeah. And also, there is a little bit of that, like, alcoholic effect to it in the way that, like, think bourbon sea salt caramel. That had, like, a strange alcoholic aspect to it. This one does it as well with the nature of Irish cream, but it's not gonna like throw you off or anything, kind of like bourbon sea salt caramel. Like, it's there and it's a little bit weird, but once you kind of burn it, like, it kind of goes away. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily pick the alcoholic aspect out if it didn't say it, but there is a bit of that unique, to say the least, aspect in there. And also, the cinnamon in here is very kind of red hot, actually, which is not like what you would expect. Like, you expect it to be like the soft, like, very sweetened cinnamon that they use in, like, is it cinnamon sugar donut, cinnamon spice vanilla, stuff like that. This is actually a fairly red hot cinnamon. Think the kind they use in 'Tis the Season leaves, stuff like that. So you get that cinnamon mixed with the, obviously there's like a soft vanilla scent in here. And then the unique like coffee mocha aspect to it. And then the slight alcoholic, like little tinge at the end. This is like a very, very complex blend. And I don't know, has this got much hype or not? I haven't been really super much on Instagram. But yeah, God, I can't stop smelling this. I said the last one smelled like something from Starbucks. And this totally does too. Like a crazy like caramel cinnamon frappuccino you would get. Oh, I just totally love it. It has like every like bakery note that you would want in here. And yeah, so curious if you all have smelled that one. Do you pick up on a coffee aspect to it or not? I don't know if I'm just going crazy or what. So those were the 3 candles that I actually purchased for myself. And the next 3 that I'm going to talk about are my parents. So my mom picked out this. She's so basic. She had to get pumpkin cupcake. So the label's pretty, I guess. But it's that white wax formula pumpkin cupcake. Tina Divilicious talked about the like switch in pumpkin cupcakes the last year where it was the white wax like it is here. And it totally is... like, it turns, like, almost black when you burn it. And it has the, he calls them the thick rope-like wicks. So that's what I always want to call them. And they do not do very good. You see there's, like, grossness on the side there. It's the same wicks that this wine cellar that I'll talk about in a minute has. They're very thick and, like, wax-covered. And they look different from most other wicks. Yeah, but this, or those are the wicks that this pumpkin cupcake has this year. So... they don't necessarily burn that bad, but it takes forever to pull out, especially that first burn. You literally will have to let it go for like 5, 6, 7 hours. Like, it's crazy. So don't, I sounded British. Don't burn this candle if you like need to leave the house in a rush, because that's what happened to us. Like, we lit it and we like needed to go somewhere, so we had to put it out, and then it was an issue the second burn trying to get a flat even wax pull it. But anyway, after that 30-minute rant, pumpkin cupcake, what does this smell like? Here are the notes. They are whipped buttercream, Madagascar vanilla, pumpkin spice, and a freshly baked cupcake. My nose is so loud today, oh my gosh. So this is quite unique. I feel like this scent has more to it than Bath & Body Works Let's On. So you obviously get what you'd expect, the like pumpkin spice, super sweet, like vanilla, creamy, whipped aspect to it. But the pumpkin spice in here is kind of unique. In a way, it kind of reminds me of a chai tea latte, because it's like a different spice than you'd expect. There's almost like a sharp aspect to it. It's kind of like, almost like a ginger or something, maybe. That's just what I want to say. But the spice in here is definitely unique. It's not just like your typical cinnamon, like, typical one that you get in a million candles. This one has something unique to it. And I'm glad that the spice in here is a little bit different. But, yes, I've never been able to really pinpoint the, like, spice in here. I don't know. I'll have to look on, like, previous years' notes for pumpkin cupcake. I know there was an iteration of pumpkin cupcake in, I want to say 2017. It was the year before last, so 2017, where it smelled like, what did people say, like jalapeno poppers or like salty like tortilla chips or something like that. And I feel like that like slightly comes through in these newer versions. Maybe the original pumpkin cupcakes were different. But yeah, it's that like just odd spicy aspect to it. So there's my like odd review of pumpkin cupcake. Honestly, this one has a really bad burn, so it kind of sucks to burn this one. Anyway, the next two are my dad's picks candles. The candles that my dad picked, I worded that so terrible. So his beloved wine cellar came back again in the White Barn core in this new little ticket style label. Here are the notes for this one. They are mulled apples, fresh fig, cedarwood, and essential oils. So Bath & Body Works totally triggered my dad when, because we had the original, or it might have been like the second version of Wine Cellar in the like red core glass when the core label, sorry, I cannot talk today, was that like swirly design. And then it like did not come back for several years, and he got very upset. So now like anytime Wine Cellar comes back, we kind of stock up because they triggered him and he's like afraid it won't ever come back again. But yeah, what does it smell like? It's odd because you would expect this one to be like super alcoholic, like Wine Cellar. Oh my gosh, like intense, whoa. But it's really not that alcoholic at all. Like I think the cinnamon Irish cream is more alcoholic than this. So very little to no necessary like alcoholic aspect. What this one kind of smells like to me is, this is a weird comparison, but there are these, like, I'm not sure what country they come from, but I want to say, like, Korea. There's these Korean candies that I get at this restaurant that I love to go to, and they're, like, green, it might be green apple, or I want to say it's, like, green grape. I'm going on, like, a tangent here, but they're, anyway, to say the least, there's, like, a candied fruit aspect to this, which is unique, and it kind of meshes with this very earthy aspect, and it's kind of like a super like sweet woodsiness. So that comes together really nicely with the fruit in here, because that fruit is so like sweetened and like it almost kind of, oh my gosh, I'm very struggling. I literally cannot talk today. I have not, like, reviewed candles in a hot minute, so I'm kind of, like, getting back in that groove of using my, like, big boy words and, like, not making a fool out of myself on the internet. But, yeah. So, you get that, like, fruity, like, candied, almost, like, freshness to it. And then it's mixed with that, like, deep, like, woods, but, like, a sweetened woods kind of vibe. I don't know. I need to, like, get my dad in here and have him explain this scent to you guys. But there was Wine Cellar, one of his favorites. And also one of his favorites is a vanilla birch right here. This was his, like, replacement when Wine Cellar was, like, gone for those few years and this was available. So the notes on this one are white birch bark, Madagascar vanilla, and warm sandalwood with essential oils. So this is actually a very similar scent to Wine Cellar. But it's just a minus that fruity sweetness. Like, this one to me mostly smells like it's basically the, like, woodsy kind of sweetened background to Wine Cellar, but just kind of, like, add a creamy vanilla. And I've always thought this one also has, like, a salty aspect to it. In the same way that kind of salted vanilla candle was, if anyone remembers that, that's been a while ago. This one kind of reminds me of that. It's like a woodsy, soft vanilla, but like also salty scent. Hard to explain. His scents are just so hard to explain, both of them. But yes, they're two very earthy scents. So that must be the kind of scents that he likes. But yes, those were my 6 candles that I got to talk about with you guys today. Let me know if you like this kind of like OG video from me. I've been trying to go back to my roots and kind of just appeal to my original subscribers. And yes, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!